Hey, what gamers back with another video. Doing my second review on Resident Evil 6 on Chris's campaign. Going only 35 minutes into the story on the cutscene video. So let's begin. So the campaign opens up with Chris at a bar, just drinking. Basically, the owner of the bar ends up kicking him out, but he refuses to stay. Chris is just wallowing in self-pity as we get a confrontation from the past. A member of the BSAA named Pierce basically tell her to stop wallowing in self-pity. But we learn that it isn't, of course, Chris that what has happened for Chris. Something that happened 6 months ago. For bioterrorism. They end up dragging Chris back. As Chris realizes he can't keep running from the past. As now, Chris is on a mission. The BSAA are on a mission in China. Chris's campaign is probably not that long then, compared to Leon's. Took Leon quite a bit to get to that point to get to China. Leon and on the way to Cathedral, but then headed to China. So it's kind of confusing. Anyway, as the men on the mission, they go look. Clowns had bioterrorism. Chris ends up having a flash. Anyway, Chris can't remember anything about what happened. But apparently all his men died, except for Pierce. Alright, you can play any of these campaigns in any order. Doesn't The match of prove this is Resident Evil 1. As you play with RE1, you tell some of it's kind of canon. But maybe a Resident Evil 1 remake can help solve this long-standing mystery of the campaigns. Something the previous remake couldn't do. Like, say, if you beat both campaigns, you unlock a special third canon campaign. Where you play as both Chris and Jill searching the mansion. And you switch on specific points. And we both rescue Rebecca and Barry. Because again, this mystery is still biggest. until the movies, CG movies, that is. It's never really, people just thought the one with Barry in it is canon. Which basically means Jill's campaign is the canon one. But that got proven wrong when Rebecca made a re-emergence in the movies, which are canon. Take place at specific points. Like the recent Deathfinder movie, which takes place right after Resident Evil 5. Because the movie gets to focus on Jill. The others who get protagonists in the movie, but Jill's basically the main protagonist in the film. Which makes sense, because it's actually good to see Jill have focus again. In new content, that is, not outside of a remake. Jill's last appearance prior to that film, was all the way back in Resident Evil 5. And the animated movies aren't exactly canon either. Neither was the Welcome to Raccoon City movie, where Jill's for some reason now played by a dark-skinned actress. I don't get why either. But I like the idea of the Jill's for Chris, Robbie Amell. He does look probably younger Chris Redfield. Sorry, off topic. So, it comes. And he ended up counter by Santana Cocoon Life. The same cocoons we saw in Leon's campaign, obviously. Causing Chris to have a flashback to 6 months ago. 6 months. And it takes, but that point of the story takes place in 2012. Resident Evil 6 takes place in 2013. Even though this game came out before 2013. Resident Evil kind of complicated. Sorry, complicated. So don't forget, Resident Evil 4. First Resident Evil game was released like in 1995 or 1926. But it takes place in 1998. Resident Evil 2 released in 1998, said that time. Going about what was a new cast of characters to that specific sometime after the events of Resident Evil 1 was a clever move. Give focus on new characters who have a somewhat connection too. And a small mini game, which basically it became Resident Evil 3 when it wasn't supposed to be. I don't know, it was supposed to be called Veronica. You can really see it. Because, again, Nemesis is just basically a one character type of game. You can really see it, so. Anyway. Chris on a mission. About as a mission for some going back somewhere in a cold place, I don't know where. We'll also introduce a new recruit named Finn, who Chris mentioned right before the flashback. I see Finn is played by Yuri Lowenthal. Seriously, even if this game's bad out, they got a top-notch voice cast. Like, fucking hell. I'm impressed. So yeah, I'll go search. Because I've threats on my way. We have run to Sherry Birkin. This is Chris's first meeting with her. But he has heard about her from Claire. The only time Claire gets mentioned in this game, I think. Claire's a journalist. It's weird how Claire didn't even appear in the game. Didn't even have her own campaign. That's just weird. Maybe because they thought her story was now kind of over after Code Veronica, but that's sort of grouping up to literally right in the next story after these campaigns airs. I'm not saying, but of course that's Revelations 2, where that's wrapping the chapters. They're probably reviewing it as an entire spin. So, yeah. And it turns out, Jake was also there, but back then he was a mercenary. 6 months ago, he was a mercenary under the protection of the US government. Maybe we'll understand more about that in Jake's campaign. But again, we'll have to wait and see for that one. That's a big direction. Anyway. Oh yeah, Sherry became an agent of the US government, similar to Leon. But I don't know, Leon didn't technically have a choice. You know, I think about if the Raccoon City incident never happened, and the special management thing too. So also Chris and Leon would have met as regular police officers. So that was a special police team. But again, Leon and Claire would never met either. But still, Chris Manning was studying Leon a bit for wanting to help people. Anyway. I spin off a Chevy. They do what they can head off. Isn't more bio threats. And then they're buying some weird cocoons. Okay. They end up buying a supposed worker. She says her name is Ada One. Now, this is not the. I don't. This is our Ada. Let me explain. Weird thing is, why was Ada wearing a blue dress in Leon's campaign when she also appeared in a red shirt? When she wore a red shirt and black pants. I mean, the dress is just. I mean, red's her signature color. So it's quite interesting. This Ada's wearing a blue dress, and especially that weird thing we saw in Leon's campaign. Ada being birthed with a similar type of cocoon. What the hell is going on? But again, Ada's campaign may explain a lot of this. She reveals this is the work of the C virus. A new umbrella by a group known as Neo Umbrella. New group. God, Umbrella just won't stay down. Okay, let's go on her. She ends up trapping them in separate rooms. Chris and Piers end up getting separated from the rest of the team. As Ada injects them with C virus, turning them all into monsters. Chris couldn't bring himself to shoot them, and they get knocked out. That had an effect on him. Chris, as we cut back to present day, is Chris finally remembers and asks Piers where Ada One is now. He's pissed off. He's out for revenge. So she should be somewhere in China. And we know that too, but she's in a different part of China. No, wait, she's not. So here this goes. Alright. So Chris is not in a good mindset right now. He's after vengeance as they go after Ada. Process losing all the men. Finds a bioweapon snake. They eventually lose another soldier, Marco, to the same virus that had those men 6 months ago. Chris is in a good note. Chris is definitely pissed about that and not happy to kill someone. No disrespect to them. Also, they went to Sherry and Jake earlier. Help them. And the way Chris reacts to Jake. Jake just sees him in the other Chris. But if you know the previous campaign, you understand why. Because he is Wesker's son. Somehow. Anyway, Piers rightfully calls Chris out on his behavior. If he wasn't so focused on vengeance, they could have saved. Those soldiers wouldn't need to die. Because Chris just still brushes off. So they go after her. They eventually enter the building. She's in and chase her down. Meanwhile, we just hear familiar voices most of the time. Of course, we know it's Leon and Helena. Who also arrived not too long as well. It's weird, but Chris never said the same line he said in that campaign. It's weird. Oh, someone forgot to mention. Do you know the actor who did the motion capture for Leon? It was Jason Font. Was it DJ? Yeah, he played Wes Collins in Power Rangers Time Force a few years prior. They got both the Red Time Force Ranger and the Quantum Ranger in 2 popular games. That's quite funny. Because if you don't know, Devil May Cry was a spin-off, was originally going to be a Resident Evil game. But that didn't suit Resident Evil, but it became, the assets were used for its own game. So it's just quite funny when you think about it. Like, don't forget, why I say that? If you don't know, Dante's brother Virgil was played by was played by Daniel Southworth, who played Eric the Quantum Ranger. Another fun fact, Erin Cahill, who played rated Pink Time Force Ranger was also the voice of Rebecca Chambers in in the movies. That's quite another fun thing to know. And why do like, it's an idea for like, and I don't mean like those weapons and mecha like a motion capture bill, but more like the games, you know? Use motion capture just for the action, no facial movements or anything. That allows a sense of realistic movement during fight sequences. You can actually find. Oh, before I get there. So yeah, we do the same. So basically, the same confrontation happens as in the previous campaign. Exact same cutscene, everything. But Leon's words really help Chris out, going back to the proper mindsets, as he's no longer running from his past. Now, this scene, at that confrontation scene, you can view it in the original motion capture version. Even the actors getting, the stunt actors getting in costume. You can find it on YouTube. It has Japanese subtitles, because there's probably a demo released in Japan. It's still using English, because they speak English. It's quite fascinating to know that. It's surprising Capcom had 3 different Power Rangers Time Force actors in their games. But okay, but you get my point. That's just a weird coincidence. But who knows when the old lines go in store? Looks like it will carry an announcement of Resident Evil 9 for 2026. The anniversary of the game. That makes sense. And we could set up the original characters and plan to go a different direction. That's about time these stories put to rest. So anyway, Chris and Pierce I don't go after Ada. So we'll see how that goes. Right. Continuing. The two chase Ada in a car. Ada crashing and managed to track her to the building. Where are those? Well, she says lies that sound strangely similar to what. So this is the Ada. So this Ada is the one who sent all those things to Simmons. The night battle. So that means this takes place during Leon and Eleanor's battle against Simmons. First one, anyway. Now, these enemies just don't want to stay dead, do they? Anyway, now look up on the rooftop. Because she's planning to infect the entire world. I just trust to taunt Chris again. This man Heiko shows up with some guy in the back shooting Ada. Most likely, they were part of Neo Umbrella. Wait. She jumps off the building and she jumps off and falls to her death. And she is dead. And it's because this is a different Ada as well, not just because of the dress, personality, and the fact she dies. Well, Leon and Helena are actually aided by a real Ada 1. Right. Only levels one switch. PS takes it. So they get an isolator. 2 go search for a plane to get the hell out there. And also trying to get the rocket down. Oh, look up plane. And that was working. The plane works, I mean. Alright, the one is a carrier carrying missiles with the C virus. So they managed to destroy it, but it launches 1 missile. That's heading to the city. As they're flying, that's when Chris gets the call from Leon. The whole same composition, same things before, yada yada. Well, we see a bit of Chris's perspective too. So that's cool. So Chris and Pierce head off to the oil rig or whatever. As Pierce comments how ironic it is. Little son of Wesker who tried to destroy the world is gonna save it. And the one rescuing him is not the one who killed his own father. There's the irony. Anyway, getting down to Samus, he managed to release them. They eventually reunite at Disney Island. Chris has like a revealing the truth to Jake. About his father and what happened. Next question: did Jake know much about his father's life? Jake is obviously pissed, but ends up not shooting Chris because there's a time and place for that. Anyway, you must stop a giant cocoon from hatching before the entire world gets affected. Anyway, we does eventually hatch because of Chris and Pierce fight. Well, Jake and Sherry had to escape. Then we learn more about that in the next story. Valhalla. And Pierce ends up losing his arm. And takes the ultimate risk in judging himself with a C virus. Falls in Rigo a genetic arm. Let's take care of it. Pierce has resist. And then the sub would take care of it again. Around an escape pod, Pierce pushes Chris in, willing to die. Respect for his captain. He said, of course, Sapphir's still alive, but tries to go after Chris again, but ends up being killed by electricity. It's truly emotional when Chris said that Pierce sacrificed himself for Chris. He's the one who brought Chris back. I was also mentioned that the whole Wesker thing happened 3 years ago. So basically, Resident Evil 5 is 3 years prior to this game. Not months like I thought previously. And this probably be the last time we hear Russ Craig Smith as Chris Redfield in this game. Because he's later replaced by a different actor. I don't know if he plays him in another certain game. Chris's campaign ends with him eating dinner alone. When soldier was insane. A member comes in saying they go on mission. As Chris is now in a new outfit. As they head off. And that was Chris's campaign. Pretty good. Again, I think the story might be appreciated once you know the entire context of it. Or better than watching a timeline video. So that was Chris's campaign. It's kind of sad, really. Well, yeah. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Enjoy my content. Please thumbs up and want to see more, subscribe channel. Like, share, we do always good picture. And I'll probably see you guys later for part 3, which is Jay's campaign. Or see though. And probably won't be able to do the 4th one tonight. Ada's campaign will have to wait till tomorrow. So thank you. I'll see you guys later or next time. Shin Megami Games out.